Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of our video series, Coming Home, Life After Semester at Sea. My name is Viviana Premazzi. I was Intercultural Communication Specialist on Voyage 134, and together with me, there is our ASL interpreter. Today, we have a very special guest from the student community. JP, very welcome to our video.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for joining. So let me jump into that and ask, first of all, to introduce yourself. In which role did you sail? Students, anything else? If you want to share a little bit of your life on the ship.
Sure, yeah. So I sailed in Voyage 134, which was fall of 2024 as a student. It was my first time outside of the country, so it was a very raw and new experience for me. On the boat, I was part of all sorts of different clubs that I participated in, kind of like a shotgun effect. I was all over the place. I was a little bit into some of like the Asian Community Club. I was part of the band club, just kind of there as support and helping out some of the other members who were uh, gathering all these instruments that we didn't have before we set sail. So I was kind of sprinkled in everywhere, not anywhere in too deep, but just all over the place.
Good. And maybe then we will also try to understand if this was an intentional strategy or happened to be and then became a strategy, try to be everywhere and taste a little bit of everything. But first of all, for some people that are watching, maybe they never heard about SAS. So what is Semester at Sea in your own words, and how maybe did you get to know Semester at Sea?
Semester at Sea is, in my opinion, the ultimate form of studying abroad. It is this incredible. I didn't find out about it until only a few months before we set sail. So I scrambled to try to get into it. I learned about it from other students who had set sail that went to a university local to me, and they had sailed in years previous. But before it, I had never heard of it. It is a program where you are able to almost sample, because you're only there in each country for a week, whereas maybe typical study abroad programs, you're there for a couple months. But you get to go into each country and have these really concentrated experiences, and then you're right back onto the boat to the next place to have another concentrated experience. So you have this microcosm campus community that just kind of sails around the world, where you get to intimately know people way more, in my opinion, than you would a typical semester of school, even a typical semester of studying abroad, because you're just in such close proximity constantly with these people.
Yeah. And what was SAS for you, if anything different?
Oh man. Not only maybe was it a little bit of an escape from more normal mundane life, but also a journey of self-discovery, as cliche as that sounds. It was an experience not only uh in the external of seeing new sights and meeting new people, but also internally a lot of questions being asked of who I am, what do I want to do with my life, and also where did my beliefs come from and how are they changing on this journey. So it was a lot of internal looking
Yeah.
and trying to figure out what my place in the world.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for sharing this, because yeah, it can sound cliche, and maybe I think it was for many people at the beginning, you hear this, yeah, journey of self-discovery, and you're like, yes. But then at the end of the voyage, you're like, yeah, indeed it was. Or just the beginning of my deep self-discovery. So thank you. So we came back, and now is actually a few months. And what do you miss the most about Semester at Sea?
Oh man, I could tell you things like I miss the food, I miss the sense of adventure, I miss how I didn't have to I had responsibilities, but not the same ones that I did at home. So I could tell you how I missed or I miss now the ability to just keep looking forward instead of having to always look to the past, or only look forward to the next place and not look forward to like what do I want to do in the years coming, and how do I prepare for that? I think all of those are kind of mashed together with things that I miss, but truly, I think the number one thing I miss is just spending time with all of the people that I met, the friends that I made on the boat, and then the friends that I made in country. I'm still in touch with a lot of the students that we brought onto the boat from India, from Vietnam. I still talk to them at least on a weekly basis, and those, whether they were small or large and for a long period of time interactions, those are the things I find myself missing the most. And that's why I've tried so much to stay in contact with all these people, because once we get home, everyone was from everywhere. So
Yeah, beautiful. And so you said before, so you did many things on the ship, but what's your favorite memory or your favorite memories, plurals, if you have more than one?
man, I think specifically on the ship, I really enjoyed the late nights of getting to know everyone over uh usually card games or mahjong. We played all sorts of different things, and that was like it felt in an odd way, because you those are things you can do at a typical college or community or club or anything, but it felt oddly more intimate. I think knowing that these are going to be people that we're going to be in such close proximity for such a long time, and then also these are people that we're going to end up relying on when we're in country and we're exploring a foreign area that we don't really know how to get around, and we need to support each other. So I think the late nights on the boat were probably my favorite parts uh when we were on the boat and not in country. But in country, there's so many events that happens over the course of those 3.5, 4 months. But I think I think the little moments in between the big events where I got to sit down and just have one-on-one conversations with the tour guides, whether it's in Ghana or India or Vietnam. There were some bus and plane rides that were pretty long that I went on. And I kind of got a reputation in some of these field programs for being the guy that always asked way too many questions. But those questions always led to such amazing conversations, and I got to learn things about their upbringing or their view on the current political or geopolitical climate, to how does religion function in your daily life or in this country as a whole. So just from the really big philosophical questions to the really small of, okay, we're in a rice field. How the heck does the rice get from here to all the way over here? Where do you import it from? How do people make money doing this? So all sorts of different conversations. But I think just those moments of pause where I really got to sit down and have sometimes like 3, 4, 5 hour conversations because of how long these bus rides were. I appreciate the tour guys for letting me talk to them so much. But yeah, I think that's the long answer. Is just these quiet moments of just getting to know someone in their culture.
Yeah. Thank you. I think in some of my field program, there was also someone joking. There was like they were doing the CEP, actually interviewing the tour guide
Yeah.
for some class. And yeah, no, it was also interesting. And also, this is another joke we have as a faculty. That the idea was when we are going to bed, there is actually like all the ship is actually getting up, and many things are happening at night that we don't know. And this
Yes.
like
Yeah.
the cards
Yeah.
game to everything happening at night, like conversations and yeah, and really building the relationship with the people.
Hmm.
Amazing. And so we came back, and also one of the reasons we are doing this is that we knew it would have been like challenging coming back, the re-entry. For someone was harder than expected. For someone was like easy. They had a plan. How was for you coming back, and when? What were the main, let's say, challenges or struggles that you had, if you can share?
Sure. Sure. So before I came back, I didn't come directly back from Thailand. A group of people that I met on semester at sea that I became good friends with, we went and spent New Year's in Japan. So that was like another amazing experience, but another 10 days on top of that. So then logistically, when I came back in the new year, I got destroyed by sickness. So I went from this whole amazing journey uh, spent for the first time in my life, I think I missed Christmas and New Year's with my family. Come back, and not only does the journey end literally, and it's kind of a snap back to reality, but then I was bedridden for 5 days because I was sick. So the brakes were already being pressed, but because of being sick, it was like I slammed into a wall and the whole world just stopped after going full throttle, just go, 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 go for 4 months. So definitely the adjustment was learning how to be okay again in that almost slow motion period of your life where you don't realize, like, you can feel like your life is moving at a million miles an hour, but until I did something like SAS, I'm like, oh, I've been walking, now I'm running, you know? So
Yeah.
going from that to lying down and physically, literally being unmoving, it was a huge adjustment to just learn how to get back into the regular swing of things, which I knew it was going to be adjustment, but I wasn't expecting it to be that difficult. And then being ripped away from what it felt like a new family that I made, I was sad. I'm not gonna lie, I was very sad. Um, so I think that was a big aspect of things when it comes to uh the whole, like, the come down from that amazing journey. But another feeling that I was a little surprised that I felt was was anger. So I had this angry feeling that hit me the second I got out of the baggage claim at my airport. Immediately, it was crazy traffic, people honking and yelling at each other, which which bothered me because I got to see places of insane traffic like Vietnam, and I never saw people treating each other the way that I immediately saw off the plane in San Diego, and it just made me feel like the places I went to, not that every place is, sunshine and rainbows,
Yeah.
but I felt like there was just this sense of anger I was coming back to in my own country, and people just have this standoffish nature compared to I experiencing just almost zero of that. Not that it doesn't exist, but it was just such a juxtaposition from what I was so used to, where everyone was so welcoming and warm, and now immediately I feel like I have to have my guard back up, which was something I wasn't really expecting. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's interesting. Like the irritation or something that actually you expect it to be like familiar and friendly because it's your place.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's the opposite. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing this. And also, like the sadness, it's something like we have to admit, like most of us feel sad after SAS, and that's it is what it is, and it was indeed like this. And so now a few months have passed. Any resources, strategies? You said before you're talking to people like weekly. I don't know, any other strategy, any other resource that you can share?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I didn't necessarily pursue any sort of professional resources. Not that those aren't obviously things that you can and should do if you have this feeling, but I was lucky enough that the resources I had was a strong friend group that I built on the boat and that I already had here at home. So I've already had the opportunity to meet up with some of the other Sassers that I met that were from Oregon and other parts of California, so they're relatively close to me. And then I get to talk to the people that I've met abroad. Um, so that being able to talk to people who have had the same experience, I think really helps because they know where you're coming from, and it's very easy to relate to uh what you're going through because they're probably going through something similar, or at least they can have an idea of how to help you through it. One of the biggest things that I think helped me here that I'm very fortunate for is I have one friend in particular who said, I want to hear literally everything, every minute detail, every single moment. So for the last couple weeks, they will come over, I'll go over to their house, and I've been putting on like a slideshow presentation of
Please.
all like 3,000 photos that I took. And we've done this probably for 3 weeks now, and we're just now getting past the fifth country. So So I think having that experience and being able to talk to someone and have them ask questions to me, which makes me have to think and recall, and having more in-depth conversations allows me to maybe relive the moments a little bit, but also put it in a place where it's not going to make me feel sad every time I think about it or bring it back up. More like it's like putting it really nicely on a shelf to be admired and then take off the shelf once in a while to look through, but not look through from a place of regret or longing in a negative sense, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely, and that's a beautiful metaphor, and definitely like your friends are treasure, I think.
Yeah, no, I
Other
would not
others,
be able to do it without them.
yeah. Good. That was actually my last question. Thank you so much for really sharing like all these reflection that I'm sure that will help others that they can definitely relate. And I wish you all the best with your future. And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you with a new episode in a few days.
Thank
Bye.
you so much for having me.
Thank
Bye.
you.